Friday night of Week 11, 2012, the Bluffs staff had just completed the perfect season, beating the Dads for the 11th straight week and proving true the old adage that campers always lose.
I mean, yeah, sure, I was excited we had a perfect season, but the end of that game meant the beginning of our next season.
Coach Fish had his eyes fixed on the 2013 season, but he had some work to do. Of the 5 starters the Bluffs had in 2012, 4 were entering the draft. Fish Food, the team's 6'10 star center, was drafted by the Boston Celtics in the 4th round. The 5'4 dunking point guard, Jam Burglar, entered the draft but was not selected. He found a job a few months later, though, traveling with the Harlem Globetrotters. Pi Rama Jama, the senior power forward, was drafted by the newly named New Orleans Pelicans, but has yet to see much playtime. But Coach's biggest shoes to fill, ironically, came in a size 9. Harold Darren, the Bluffs rookie sensation and starting shooting guard, had entered the draft as well, but the outcome of his weekend was much different than he expected it would be.
Basically, what happened after the summer was the NBA draft happened, and all the guys were like, "Hey, Harold Darren, you got drafted by the Seattle Supersonics." And I was like, "No way!" And they were like, "Yes way!" So I went, and I flew, and I drove, and then I walked, and then some guy was like, "Dude, there's no Supersonics here anymore. They left and moved elsewhere." And then I was like, "You must be mistaken, sir, because I got drafted by the Supersonics." And then he was like, "No, they haven't been a team for years."
Coach Fish had his work cut out for him, but he had some hopeful prospects on the horizon.
Our program prides itself in a lot of things. One of them is the recruiting staff. Knowing that we would be losing 4 of our 5 starters, I told our recruiters to go out and get the best of the best.
And they didn't disappoint. Looking for a new power forward, Coach Fish found his man in the bayous of Louisiana, and his name said it all: red beets and rice.
There's something very similar about throwing up a basketball and tossing up a gator head, it really just kind of flows. And Coach Fish was actually pretty vital in helping me realize that. I never knew that I actually had some serious skills just from chunking gator heads. All of a sudden, he gives me a basketball and says, "Here, just shoot this into that net right there." And I figure, hey, it's just like throwing anything else into a net.
The Bluffs' next 2 players both came not only from the same school, but the same family. Forged in the brotherhood of brotherhood, Biking Viking and Pile Driver have grown up playing on the same team in virtually everything.
Mom used to always say we had this connection growing up, and even though I beat him at everything, the cool thing is I can just throw the ball to an empty spot on the court, and he's there every time, so.
Bro-nection. It's all business. He gets the boards, I get the steals, we both get the points, and we go home happy. I go home with the big W, looking for the win.
Or the little W. I get the big one.
The Bluffs team was nearly complete, but still had one spot to fill. Who would play center? For the answer to this question, Coach Fish had to travel nearly 3,000 miles to the rugged hills of Mozambique. It was there that he found a player who would go down in history with the great African-born players of all time. In the midst of legendary names such as Akeem Olajuwon, Luau Deng, and Dikembe Mutombo, the world would soon be introduced to Mish.
My family moved to Mozambique in 2005. Started going to Christian school there, and played on the soccer team and the basketball team. And are these subtitles? Okay, seriously, guys, I speak perfectly good English. Perfectly good.
With that, Coach Fish had filled the 4 vital spots that he needed filled on his team. The Bluffs team was coming together, but one player has yet to be mentioned in this fairy tale of a story: Woo Woo. The veteran shooting guard and the Bluffs fly under the radar captain. It is not this boy's outspoken nature that holds this team together, but his quiet confidence and steady leadership.
I think that my experience and being the only returning player, I think the guys do look up to me, so I'm starting to understand that more and take a little bit of responsibility to that fact that they're looking to me as we're going to be facing some of the tough teams this season.
Despite losing 4 key players less than 1 year ago, the Bluffs is looking like a team again, and playing like one too. In fact, the Bluffs find themselves undefeated so far this season and posting an astonishing 147 points per game, while managing to keep their technicals to a minimum of an average of 1.5 per game. In fact, some experts are even comparing this team to the 92 Dream Team and the 91 Michigan Wolverines team, known infamously as the Fab Five.
Oh yeah, like Michael Jordan.
We actually have a complete walk-in closet dedicated to all of our trophies and medals. I mean, you got to keep those guys somewhere, right?
Even though he's pretty tough, I always feel like we can fail and he won't care that much.
Failure is not an option.
I'm excited to see what this team can do. We've got talent and we've got heart, so I hope these dads are ready for one heck of a game.
Despite all of the hype and excitement surrounding this group, they remain a likable and humble group of kids. Fab Five? Maybe. But their success on the court, as well as off the court, is quickly earning this up-and-coming team the affectionate name, the Fave Five.